General Motors initially released the Chevrolet Cruze in 2008, but the North American Cruze model wasn't released until the 2011 model year. It is a front-wheel drive compact sedan that was built on the Delta II platform, which was also shared with the Chevrolet Volt, Buick Verano, and many other GM vehicles outside of North America. Here in the US, the Cruze was the replacement to the Chevrolet Cobalt. For the 2016 model year, the Cruze's second generation was released on the new D2XX platform. The Cruze's new generation includes major styling updates to resemble many other current Chevrolet models, as well as many technical updates and refinements. The LT trim is the third highest trim out of the 4 available trim levels for 2017. You can also get a new 5-door hatchback Cruze as of 2017. The new Cruze is 183.7 inches long, stands 57.4 inches tall, and sits 70.5 inches wide. That's 2.7 inches longer than the previous Cruze model. Today's LT is featured in the Summit White exterior color. LT models come equipped with the standard automatic halogen projector beam headlamps with LED daytime running lamps. The top half of the aggressive 2-piece front grille sits in between the headlamps with chrome accenting. The second half of the grille is much larger and includes more chrome accenting. The front bumper also includes a slim center air dam. The side mirrors are placed within color-matching caps with black accents. The mirrors themselves are powered as well as heated. Chrome accenting rides along the bottom of the side windows, and the door handles are color matching. LT models ride on these standard 16-inch 5 split-spoke aluminum rims wrapped with P205 55 SR all-season tires. Braking is provided through a 4-wheel anti-lock disc braking system with the standard StabiliTrak electronic stability control system with traction control included. The tail lamps are complete in an incandescent fashion. The rear bumper includes one hidden exhaust port. Once inside, you'll find that the new Cruze offers 2 front persons, 38.9 inches of headroom, 42 inches of legroom, 53.2 inches of hip room, and 54.9 inches of shoulder room. Front safety features include dual front airbags, front seat mounted airbags, side curtain airbags, and dual front knee airbags as standard safety equipment. Three rear passengers are offered 37.3 inches of headroom, 36.1 inches of legroom, 51.9 inches of hip room, and 53.2 inches of shoulder room. Rear standard safety features include side curtain airbags and rear seat side mounted airbags. LT models are furnished with these cloth-appointed seats, with today's Cruze featuring the jet black color scheme with blue contrasted stitching. Both front seats are manually adjustable. The interior door trim includes a chrome door handle next to your door lock and mirror controls. Your window controls placed on the armrest, and a door pocket with your trunk release located next to it. The dashboard includes jet black cloth, metallic trim, and chrome accents throughout. LT models come standard with this 4-piece luminescent gauge cluster that offers an 8,000 RPM tach, a 160 mph speedometer, and gauges for your fuel level and coolant temperature. The driver information display includes a compass, the vehicle mileage, current gear selection, a speedometer, 2 trip computers with individual fuel stats, your remaining fuel range, instant fuel economy stats, the average vehicle speed, vehicle timer, navigation information, displays vehicle information such as an oil life monitor, tire pressure readings, charging voltage, allows you to select your unit display, set your vehicle speed warning, and view your fuel economy trends, as well as your average fuel economy and top fuel impacting consumers. The driver grabs on to a 3-spoke steering wheel with chrome spoke accents and extension grips at 10 and 2 o'clock. The left spoke includes your cruise controls. The right spoke includes your voice command, phone disconnect, and driver information display controls. The back sides of both spokes also include your audio controls. Steering is provided through an electric power-assisted rack and pinion steering system that provides approximately 3 turns lock to lock. The left side of the dashboard includes your exterior lighting and interior dimmer controls. Your turn signal stalk sits on the left side of the column, while your wiper controls make up the second. All Cruze models come equipped with this 7-inch touchscreen dashboard display that allows access to the Chevrolet MyLink infotainment system. Audio is provided by an AM, FM, MP3 audio system, backed by a 6-speaker sound system. Other system features include Bluetooth audio streaming, voice command, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay compatibility, OnStar 4G LTE, and built-in Wi-Fi hotspot, as well as Sirius XM satellite radio. Once you access the home screen, the display will also allow you to access a photo gallery and access other vehicle and system settings. Down below sits your single-zone manual climate controls. When the climate controls are changed, the display will show you your new climate configuration. Above them sit your emergency hazards. The lower storage pocket includes your USB and auxiliary input jacks for your digital media devices, as well as a 12-volt power outlet. The shifter is completed with chrome accents and a leather boot. Two cup holders sit over to the right of it. While your traction control override and a deep storage pocket sit behind it. The center armrest also includes a storage console. The glove compartment is decently sized. On the ceiling, you'll find sun visors with unlit vanity mirrors for both front persons, two map lamps, your interior lighting controls, your OnStar communication controls, and your passenger restraint indicator. Rear passengers have access to two door pockets, an optional USB charging port, two map pockets, and an armrest with 2 cup holders. The rear seats of the Cruze can also be folded for more cargo room. Once you access the trunk, the Cruze LT offers you a standard 13.9 cubic feet of cargo room. More cargo room is gained once the rear seats have been folded. Underneath the floor sits the compact spare tire. The Cruze is powered by the 1.4-liter dual overhead cam, 16-valve turbocharged Ecotec 4-cylinder with continuously variable valve timing. It produces 153 horsepower and 157 pound-feet of torque. EPA estimates are rated at 30 miles per gallon in the city and 40 miles per gallon on the highway with the automatic transmission. The Cruze LT also carries a 13.7-gallon fuel tank.
I do apologize if the wind noise or the train will interfere with the engine note segment of the Cruze. The Cruze actually has a pretty quiet engine, so you might already have a hard enough time hearing it as it is. Let's go ahead and start it up.
Today's Cruze is driven through an optional 6-speed automatic transmission with a manumatic shifting feature. Once in reverse, a rear backup camera is displayed. Stay tuned, a full test drive is coming up.
Now, amazingly enough, I feel really comfortable sitting in a Cruze. I was kind of afraid that it was going to be kind of crammed. You know, I'm about 6 feet tall,
and I don't even have the seat pushed back too far, but I actually feel like this is a pretty good driving position right here. I was kind of confused about how the seat adjustment works at first, because there are two levers over here. One of them controls the back rest, and the other one allows you to bring the seat higher or lower. And you know, there's nothing under here to grab, but I later discovered that there's a bar sitting right here closer to the center console that you can pull up on and actually move the seat back and forth. So like I said, it's actually a really good position. The steering wheel is also you know, tilting and telescoping, so that's also a nice feature to help give you the comfortability that you need to drive the Cruze. The seats themselves are kind of firm, but at the same time they're not too firm. They seem to give you a nice support. There's a little bit of a side bolster on both sides, so you kind of feel like you're hugged, and I do like that a lot. So yeah, that's pretty good in my opinion. And amazingly enough, even the back seat's not too bad for somebody taller like me. You know, the seat is pushed back pretty far for my driving position up front. My knees, even the legs, they're not touching the back of the seat. There might actually be a little bit more room to come back. I kind of like how they designed the back of the seat with this little indentation, this arch over here, because if there is somebody taller like me sitting back here, or somebody even taller, and the seat happens to be pushed back, your legs might actually be able to fit into this without, you know, being crushed completely. So I think they kind of did that for that reason, so that way taller persons can also fit into the back of the Cruze well comfortably. The back seats, they feel almost, they give you the same support as the front seats from what I can tell. You know, they're still firm, yet very comfortable and supportive. No side bolstering, of course, but that's okay. The armrest comes down. The armrest comes down at a good height. I know you can't really see it, but my arm doesn't feel like it's too high or too low. It seems to be at a nice place for my elbow. The only thing that I would worry about back here would be this pillar right here. It's very close to my head, so maybe if somebody took a turn too sharp, my head might go into this. That's the only thing that I can really find back here that might be an issue for people who are taller. So overall, not bad.
Okay, so we will now take the person's point of view test drive of the 2017 Chevrolet Cruze LT. So the first thing that I want to touch up on as we start this test drive is how quiet the new Cruze really is. You can barely hear this engine run when it's at a standstill. You can barely hear it when it's running while you're driving it. So, I mean, even when you accelerate, there's minimal engine noise there. It's very, very impressive. Road noise itself, it's somewhat quiet. I can't really complain about it too much. You can kind of hear the road salt and stuff from all this snow that we had. You can kind of hear it go into the, wheel wells and stuff. The music's not on or anything, so you can really catch a lot more road noise that way.
without, of course, any music on. As far as the ride comfortability, I think it's overall pretty comfortable. It is jittery here and there. It's like the suspension is, stiff. So it does seem to pick up a lot of the, bumps and jitters of the road, but it's really nothing to complain about. The car sits pretty low, obviously, so it's not like you're rocking back and forth anytime you hit a bump. It's just, just a couple of seconds of jitter and it's pretty much gone. But like I said, it's really nothing to complain about. It's something I think that a lot of people can definitely live with. Doesn't bother me any. Like as I mentioned earlier, the seats are really supportive, so the seats they actually kind of help a lot when it comes to the jitteriness, especially the front seats, because you have the side bolsters there, and they hug you, and it keeps you from going side to side when it comes to the jitteriness. So the seats really hold up well when it comes to bad points on the road. Now, as far as the handling, the Cruze seems pretty responsive when it comes to the handling. The steering is really smooth, but at the same time, it's kind of like it's numb, in my opinion. It definitely responds well, but it's really silky. It almost has like this numbness to it. Again, nothing really to complain about. You get used to it. Still very responsive in terms of maneuverability. The 1.4 liter Ecotec, it does a pretty good job at bringing the Cruze to speed and such. I can't take the car on the highway today, or else I would, test a slight on-ramp acceleration test. But one thing I noticed is when it's at a standstill, I feel like it does take a few seconds to actually get the Cruze moving. So it's almost like, if you have your foot on the gas pedal a little bit, you have to push it down a little further, and then the Cruze will finally start to pick up. But once it's in motion, it seems to drive really well with this engine, this very, very quiet engine. The transmission shifts through all of the gears effortlessly, so you don't feel any, hard jerks or anything of that nature. It shifts pretty silky, would be a good way to describe it. You can see when I come up on these curves here, how much the wheel has to turn to get through that. So, like I said, the handling is not terrible. It's definitely a very easy car to drive. I just can't really pinpoint on the best way to describe how the steering feels. I mean, the numbness is probably the best way for me to describe how it really feels. Got another slight S-curve coming up here. So yeah, not too bad, not too shabby at all. The one thing that I'm kind of disappointed in is the manumatic shifting, because you have the manumatic buttons here, and basically you drop it down into L, and then you can use these buttons on top of the shifter to shift from gear to gear. My complaint to this is why they didn't just make like a you know, put the shifter in the car where, you know, you can kind of move the shifter back and forth like a lot of other manumatics do. The buttons to me just seem kind of boring, in my opinion. You just hold on to the shifter and you tap the buttons on the top of the shifter. It just seems kind of boring to me, in my opinion. Nonetheless, though, I mean, being able to control the shifts is fun. You can definitely bring the engine to, like, you know, close to peak power if you desire to. The engine does sound pretty good when it's at high RPM. To simply get out of this mode, you just shift it back into drive mode and it's back to its automatic self. The visibility seems to be really nice in this car. I especially like the windows, the side windows here. How you have this the windows up front kind of gives you a little more view of the sides toward the front of the car. If you've seen a lot of my reviews, you understand how I love driving vehicles that have a sloping windshield. So you definitely don't have to worry about being real close to the windshield in this car. There's a lot of dash space there. The windshield slopes nicely. You can't see the hood. I honestly can't see the hood from my perspective. This camera might be able to pick it up because it's actually a little bit higher than my line of sight, but from where I am, I cannot see the hood. I can just see a little bit of it. So to some drivers, that might have to be something that they need to get used to if they're used to driving cars where they can see their hoods, just, you know, so they can judge on how far up they need to park in some circumstances. The 1.4 does include auto stop. But one thing I've noticed is it doesn't always stop right away. So like the engine's still on. By now I would have thought that it would have shut off. So not really sure why it hits or misses. You know, I feel like everything's in a position where it could turn off. There's really nothing else running. But I don't know. It's turned off on me a few times. So it's there. I just don't know why it's not doing it now. As far as the appearance of the Cruze, I definitely think that this Cruze is by far the nicest looking Cruze that has been out. I know it's only really the second generation design. The first Cruze looked really well.
They updated the styling toward the end of its first generation, but this Cruze here, it honestly just brings the Cruze name to another level. It's definitely nice now because the Cruze is, it definitely fits in well with the new Chevy lineup. A lot of the new Chevys have this sort of look to them, and it's actually a really nice look. It's a nice design. So yeah, it looks great. I mean, there's really nothing else that I can say. I'm really impressed with the way it looks. As far as the interior fit and finish, I love how they kind of kept some of the older Cruze characteristics in line, especially when it comes to like the fabric placed across the dashboard. That's a nice touch there. But again, it brings the Cruze to the modern Chevy lineup, and it just, I'm really impressed with it. I'm really impressed with the quality of it. You know, GM, in my opinion, has come a long way when it comes to the car that's in this class. I definitely feel like the Cobalt was, you know, that was, in my opinion, a little bit of a downfall when it came to this class for GM. While the Cobalt was a pretty nice car, and it's actually a really simple and easy and fun car to drive, I feel like the materials in the car, they just weren't made to the highest quality. And that's, I think, because, you know, a lot of cars from that time period when GM was designing them, that's around the time that they were, you know, heading into trouble as far as, you know, financing and stuff like that. So you know, the Cruze was definitely like the rebirth of that class definitely the rebirth for the class for GM when it comes to this car. So you know, while it was already a really nice car when it came out to begin with, I mean, the quality, the design, the fit and finish was already a lot better than the Cobalt was. But this here, as I said a couple times already, it definitely takes the Cruze to the next level, and that's actually a good thing. There's an older Cruze right there. So you know, the Cruze definitely looks a little bit bigger. It looks like it's going to be more appealing to a lot more customers because of its upgraded materials and upgraded styling and upgraded features. So in my opinion, it's definitely a good mark. Especially for this model here, being an LT, which I know it's one of the lower trim classes of the Cruze lineup. I mean, I haven't done all the research yet on it, obviously, because I'm still, you know, driving the car. But you know, we've got this, you know, the Chevy MyLink with, you know, LTE data, Sirius radio, the touchscreen itself, nice luminescent gauges with small driver information center, the manumatic transmission, traction control. I mean, this is a well-equipped LT. It's very surprising, you know, when it comes to the lower base models, how some of these lower trim levels now, you know, they're coming equipped with a lot more of these nice gadgets that you would used to only be able to find on cars of a higher class. So this is a very well-equipped LT model. This is something, you know, if I had to drive this car daily, I probably wouldn't have to ask for anything else. This has everything that I could need. I mean, automatic headlights, the USB and auxiliary input jacks for your media devices, and you can't go wrong with this model. Something affordable. You can have fun with it. You've got all the options you really need, in my opinion. I could drive this thing every day as is and not complain about it. So good car so far. Like it.
I'm at another light. I've been here for a few seconds already, and the auto stop still hasn't kicked in. So that's my only question is, I'm kind of curious as to why it only does it once in a while. So I must either be missing something, or it just has a mind of its own and decides when it wants to do it. This road is very jittery. I'm trying to miss some potholes and stuff that have already kind of come about, but kind of comes back to the ride comfortability and how the seats are really holding their own for you when you are going through situations where the road is not the best. So again, nothing to really complain about when it comes to that. You stay grounded. That's all that really counts, right? Close the garage door for a second. We can see all the illumination on how the car looks at night. So, that concludes my test drive portion.
Thanks for watching this presentation of Mike's Vehicle Spotlight. If you enjoyed this feature, please like, comment, subscribe, and add MVS on other social media sites.